Nice morning, don my armor. Time to begin the day's quests. We have adventure ahead of us. Not that I'm into that kind of thing. We have a lot of jobs. A lot of dangerous jobs we're doing. Alright, everybody. Time to go. Everybody seemed to have gotten their own room during the night.
Aye?
Let's be off. We're gonna head back. It's just the five of us. Kana's still on the mission given by the steward. Interesting thing, that steward. It's not that I speak to her through my mind. It's just that I just seem to know what can be done and what's going on at the keep. We've gone a little bit to the west, to the woods. I remember there being these large creatures out here. We've already taken a few of them down previously. Here they are. Forest lurker. 2 of them.
Hey.
One of them is stunned.
That's it!
Not
Let's
for
go.
long.
But I'll let Mark.
One is down. Stuck. Can't move. Try blinding it. And the creature's down.
Yeah.
I don't know how it made me stuck. I couldn't move. Interesting. Okay, what is this? And the steward has contacted me. The towers have been completed. Let's go with inside. What we work on the dungeons allows us to take prisoners. 2 days' time. What is this? Trees and shrubs have grown up around these ancient bones, shrouding this monument to Galawain beneath their leaves. Nothing that important. I was hoping for some kind of treasure, but oh well. Let's return to Defiance Bay. We've got a long trip ahead of us. Over a day and a half. We've rested at the Goose and the Fox. It's nice early in the morning. The sun is out. Let's go to the Brackenbury part of Defiance Bay. There we have 2 jobs we can do. We must go to the sanitarium. And I believe we need to find a book. Alright, we're in Brackenbury. Audra, all
You've
along
been on
the
your own
water.
for 5 years.
I've had Itamok.
But you can't talk to him.
My standards changed around year 2.
Hello? We're responsible for the safety of every person in the city. It was an interesting day, that's all I can say. Come on, you can tell me more. Just one more thing, please. Who are these people? Sorry, I promised Gatherman. Let's not talk about it here, alright? Okay. Well... Now, in this part of the city, we are looking for... Lord Raymond. And someone with the initials AD. And then there was the other one. Helig of Thane. That living corpse from the catacombs. Wants to retrieve his grimoire to settle an old debt. He's confident that it's been locked away by Moedred, an animancer at Brackenbury's sanitarium, and Helig's old rival. Well, time to start searching around, I guess. This is a expensive home. Perhaps we'll get answers on this Lord Raymond. Hello, Raymond. Speak softly around the Lord's daughter, Lynette. She's sensitive. Okay. I can't talk now. The master of the house doesn't tolerate shirking. Interesting. Where is the master of the house? Hello? Lord Raymond doesn't like it when his servants talk to his guests. Well, you're just standing there talking to somebody else. Another servant. The label's all perfectly angled outward, boasts an array of fine vintages. However, they're all coated in dust. Doesn't use them very often, or at least doesn't have them cleaned, does he? Oh, hello. Father never reads to me. He's always busy with his own books. You must be Lynette. The daughter. Well, it seems to be all storage down here. Hello. Lord Raymond may seem like a harsh man, but he's also fair and generous. Interesting. A lot of servants around here. Oh, these ones are working. They're not shirking. Hello. Ah, you must be Lord Raymond. Lord Raymond holds a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has the sallow complexion and restless air of a man who devotes all of his days and most of his nights to work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. I'm going to give him a letter. I've uncovered a plot to rob you. He lowers his papers and looks at me for the first time. Is that so? Let me see that. He scans the parchment with the speed of an expert clerk. When he returns his attention to me, his tone is brisk and businesslike. You've done this house and this city a great service. I'm certain you will consider this an adequate reward for your labors. Well, a reward is fine. The letter was signed AD. Does that mean anything to you? I suspect it means Aberkan Doemel, the scion of House Doemel. A look of disgust crosses his face. A pampered, pandered lad, if ever there was one. He's ruthless, and I'll give him that much. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the wits to match his appetites. Tell me about this House Doemel. I did read a book about them. They were once an eminent and admired house. Now they're just a den of thieves. Back in the Deerwood colonial days, the Doemels were respected members of the ducal court, which is why it was so surprising that they remained loyal to Aadir during Hadrit's rebellion. When Hadrit and the Deerwood won independence, the Doemels lost their favor but not their wealth. Rather than return to Aadir like the other loyalist houses, they dug their heels in here and turned from politics to commerce. He shrugs. In one way of looking at it, they simply partnered with the wrong side. Not that they haven't prospered since, in their own way. He rubs his jaw. Lately, they've been seeking to carve out a new niche for themselves, one right between the Crucible Knights and the Dozens, it seems. As thugs, guards? What will you do now? Lord Raymond pinches crisp, sharp creases into the note. Eliminate the competition. Well, what's so important about this gem? The heart of White March is a nearly flawless diamond. It's also the patrimony of the dwarves of White March. It was seized by an Adarian lord in the early days of colonization, and the dwarves haven't forgotten it. Now the knights and the Dozens are both bidding for it to make a peace offering to the dwarves. He shrugs. Whichever party buys it, the dwarves will make useful allies for Defiance Bay, especially these days. That jewel is worth a lot more than 2,000 pounds. Indeed, but notice of a plot does not carry quite the same value. The corners of his mouth curl into a wry smile. Still, far be it from me to sour a fruitful relationship. He produces another purse. Now, I trust that will be all? Farewell, then. Thank you very much. 2,500 copper. Not bad. The steward's telling me that Kana has returned, and he is, if there's any riches, he'll be in the Great Hall with it. Well, we just came from there. Kana can wait a bit. It was a long trip to get from the edge of the forest all the way down to here. It's about a day trip to get back to the stronghold.
You're from Gilded Vale? Then you're close to home.
Close can mean a lot of things.
Surely you'll go back when this is all over.
Dunno. Guess that all depends.
Well, We've helped this Lord Raymond. He's given me coin for it. That's all I can ask for. I was hoping to get involved and perhaps thwart this person. Maybe get more loot out of the deal. But I guess not. He's not interested. If he is, maybe he'll contact me in some form or another. There's another inn, I think. Hello? Heartless bitch. What's he talking about? The young elf is dressed in a gaudy robe that seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavy brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at me. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble. He puffs up his chest and glances at the exit. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Cyril's a courtesan over at the Salty Mass in Andra's gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor, and send him her way. They have a good time, and Cyril takes their fee and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, and these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Go on. Anyway, we always split the bounty. Until a week ago, he squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off some noble. It's an Engwithan medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck, and even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brows furrow in pity. That's a hard thing. Tell me more about your situation. Picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What makes this medallion so important to you? I grew up in Ir Glanfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glanfathans have protected Engwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. But treasured hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clan mates scattered to towns around the Deerwood and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the gods' forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. Oh, I see your situation. Tell me about Cyril. She's a courtesan in the Salty Mass over at Andra's gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at the string of amber beads around his wrist. He's very fidgety, isn't he? She's a good friend. He folds his arm in his trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand-to-mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear. But this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held to for generations. Well, you seem you've done well enough for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scrape by in the gutters like the rest of my clan. But I'd give it all for that medallion. I'd offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Cyril knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Ir Glanfath. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course I could, but that's not the point. A community isn't a place. It's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist, like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make any sense to you? I'm not sure yet. He looks at me, almost with pity. I don't know how else to explain it. That's all I want to ask. So, will you help me get the medallion? I'll see about getting the medallion from Cyril. You'll find her at the Salty Mass. The only way anyone sees her these days is by paying, so you have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Alright, alright. Not sure if we'll get any coin for that. It's more like a favor to somebody I just met. Hello? The Charred Barrow is the finest inn in the city if you're looking for lodging. Good to know. Oh, a little bit of oil on that table. Use it for crafting. Hello. Despite what you may have heard, nothing unusual goes on at the sanitarium. Well, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
In a way. I'm not sure, though, because that could be false. Could be just a rumor. Hello. And though it may splinter my soul, I will... She's lost in reading. The scripts and props belong to a production, The Most Unfortunate Tale of Favia and Burnett. Ah, that... I read that story, actually. Let's go this way, guys. Hello? As you near, you feel vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from his past seem to call out to me. Reach out for the soul. You see a woman clad in expensive finery. Her eyes flash as she interrogates a trembling wreck on the ground. Reaching into his pocket, her hands curl around an address, and she smiles grimly. Moments later, she is in a bedraggled alleyway, her pace quickening, her braids trail around a corner. And she is upon them, or perhaps they are upon her. The action does not last as she easily dispenses of man after man, searching their faces, clothes, shouts for something she fails to find. Frustrated, she moves on, but not quickly enough, as an Orlan attacks her from behind. The seal upon his finger glittering with malice, the woman's eyes alight upon it as she twists to evade his blow, and her eyes burn bright. Perhaps this is not a wasted trip after all. She does like the combat, I take it.
Yeah.
And looting people. I'm not sure what she's actually was after. She could be very wicked, or she could be hunting down wicked people. Hello.
Well met, friend.
The man is dressed in neat and functional clothes. His sun-wrinkled skin and limbered musculature reflect a life spent in the wilderness. Well met. What brings you to the Charred Barrel? Who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duke for decades. He rubs his nearly stubbled cheek. Crossed the White March half a dozen times and mapped most of the ruins of Thane Bog. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. A good career, but one suited to younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, Cliver and a few other friends in the Knights helped me get the rights to refurbish this place. It's a strong ale, quality entertainment, and a fresh breeze. He raises a mug. What more could a man want? Is this your place? It's my retirement, he thumps the bar. Used to be a warehouse back when Brackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who'd never had any luck pawning it off on my cousins. Now it's the most popular spot in Brackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and kith from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We get a few rough types, too, but they behave in here. Besides, their coin is as good as anyone else's. Show me your menu, please. Well, we have enough camping supplies. Everything else is just, yeah, we don't really need anything. Good to know. Another place we can stay. Looks a lot nicer than the Goose and Fox. Hello. Please don't track dirt into my kitchen. The patrons here are particular. Alright, there's a downstairs here. Take a peek. Probably just wines and other alcohol that they store down here. You know, the kind of usual thing that taverns and inns tend to have. Or they could have more tables and maybe have a secret area where people can go and talk, I guess. Hello? It's usually quiet down here. That's what the boss likes about it. Huh? Hello? Just having a little chat with my associates. Okay, well, I was right about the wine and things like that. Flasks of the infamous Soul Burn of the Deadfire Archipelago are nestled next to a crystal clear Nasitaki and Glanfallen spirits. The proprietor has collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from tart Adadir reds to sweet summer wines of Rautai. Well, let's go. Up we go. Look at a little bit of shady looking characters down there. Not sure what that's about. Reach out for the soul. You see a large group of people gathered in the common area of a large inn. This man is standing in the midst of the people, engaged in conversation with someone. He is smiling and talking gregariously, moving from person to person with ease. He is able to extract himself from one conversation and insert himself into another without a break in his stride. He kisses the hand of a well-dressed woman, dipping her, then twirling her back into the arms of her escort. He moves on to another group, slapping someone on the back while laughing at a joke, and then he's off again, sliding between people, hugging someone, shaking hands. He never stops. Finally, he seems to have hit his limit, and he excuses himself from the gathering, much to the dismay of everyone there. He smiles and waves as he leaves, making a little bow with a flourish of the hand as he closes the door. Once he is away from the inn and around a corner, he pulls several objects from a concealed pocket in his jacket. He looks at each in turn: a necklace, a brooch, a couple of coin pouches, and a small jewel. Smiling, he pours the money into his palm and quickly counts it, still aimlessly wandering the streets. He passes a beggar who holds out a bowl to him, pleading for a pittance. The man stops, smiles at the beggar, and drops all the coins into his bowl. Then he walks off, whistling happy. Wow, that's very interesting. You have some ruffians in the
Good
basement.
day, stranger.
I guess he doesn't care. Alright. What do you have upstairs? Definitely a place for nobles. I take it that that man is a noble himself, or at least a wealthy merchant, and he robs people to give to the poor, interestingly. Oh, okay. Hello. She watches me through cold-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger. Best we keep it that way. What brings you to the charred barrel? She raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb, and Scarion doesn't ask too many questions. You don't seem like a Brackenbury local. I'm a sailor, she gives me a half smile, and a liberator of certain goods. She casually fingers a large earring, and the nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. I'll be going. Yeah, there are some snobs here. What's on this table? An Ixmatil water jug fashioned from white clay. Nothing interesting. There's some interesting people here, but there's some unsavory types, I'll say that. Hello. I don't need to read everybody. At least not this time.